Locked On USC is in full lockdown mode with California's best lockdown cornerback.
You are Locked On USC, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Hulkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC. It's part of the Locked On Network, your first listen every day. Whether you're watching the show on YouTube, wherever you want to download this podcast, it's always free, and I always appreciate your support. Today's episode is brought to you by the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada. Stay with us for the Armada Team of the Week later in this episode. All right, so later this afternoon, USC is going to be kicking off spring camp. I'll have all the news, notes, quotes, and on tomorrow's episode of Locked On USC. But when you add Locked On USC with a lockdown quarterback, you get one of, if not the top cornerbacks in the country, Brandon Lockhart. That's what you get. He's considered a top 100 player. I believe like number 52 by On3. He is the sixth best cornerback in the country and I think the eighth best player in the state. So he's elite. Not only is Brandon one of the leaders for the Loyola Cubs team that he plays for, he's also one of USC's class of 2026 recruiting leaders. Brandon, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking some time out of your pretty busy schedule.
Of course, thank you for having me. I mean, already seeing Locked On, Lockhart. I mean, like, come on.
It all works, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be. So the other day, I had running back Sean Alston on the show. Awesome young man. I know you guys talk a lot. Between the two of you, everyone who follows USC recruiting knows you guys are diehards.
Yeah.
But you might be the most locked in diehard in this class. You committed back to USC back in 2023.
Yep.
And you haven't wavered. In fact, if anything, it's probably gotten stronger. So besides your mom being a Trojan alum, tell everyone why USC is the place to be for you.
It's a hometown, obviously. I committed back in 2023, so there had to be something about USC that I loved. The life after football program is very big for me. I mean, being able to graduate from USC and have a USC degree is, it's just one of those things where, I mean, you see USC on someone's license plate, just a sticker on their car, a flag in the front of their house. I mean, you're like, oh yeah, that person, they did something well in life. USC is just one of those places where, the name carries itself. I mean, it's one of the best universities on the earth. So, I mean, it's just, it's one of those places where, I couldn't shy down from being at.
Dude, you need to write the sales brochure for USC because you're doing a great job with that. So with all the coaching changes on the defensive side of the ball, especially since your commitment, talk about the relationships with the coaching staff. And I'm going to be very specific here. I'm going to go through certain ones that I want you to talk about.
Sure.
And I'm saving the best for last. So Coach Riley is the head coach. Talk about your relationship with him.
It's great. We like to keep in contact every week. And, it's kind of funny. I feel like he's giving me this role on recruiting. Like, last week he hit me up and he was like, all right, so, who are the guys we're going after? I'm like, oh, I'm on the staff now. So I'm like,
manager, Brandon.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was a cool little text. But no, we stay in contact every week. It's not always just football. We talk about, just what's going on in my life, how my family's doing, how my brother's doing. And, I feel like, yeah, he's definitely giving me the role of, being a leader in this 26 class and really, stepping up for us and trying to build one of the most historic classes, that USC's ever had.
Now, when you committed, Dante Williams was the position coach you're going to be playing for. Now,
Yep.
Lynn is the defensive coordinator, Doug Belk. What are your impressions on them since you've had an opportunity to meet them and see what they're going to be bringing to the program?
Yeah, so I'll start from the beginning. At first when Dante originally left USC, I was kind of worried. I was like, I know I'm an early commit, so it's not as important, but I wanna have options. So I was pretty nervous. When they hired Belk, I was like, okay, they obviously hired someone who had such an amazing background. Him and Lynn, both amazing backgrounds. I mean, Lynn's right down the street. But but still, just great background. So, I had to give them a chance, or me a chance, to meet them and really get to see what they're all about. And, I think ever since I first started talking to them, we've built a connection that, that I had with Dante, maybe stronger. So, I think that there's no, where I'm at now, there's no going. I'm locked in with Belk and with T Reed, with the whole staff. I can name everyone on the staff. Like I'm locked in with everybody. So
speaking of Coach Reed, he's obviously going to be your position coach next year when you show up.
yeah.
When he joined the staff, I asked about his relationship with Coach P. Carroll, and he said, he's the reason why he got into coaching. One of the things that really stood out to me was what he was looking for. He says, "I want dogs that bite." And I watched some of your film. You got a little bit of that nasty to you. Have you had a chance? How much have you been able to talk with Coach Reed and kind of get into his head and find out what he's all about?
Once again, every week I like to keep in contact with the coaches.
Okay.
Me and him, we have an NCAA game coming up soon. So we're gonna play NCAA against each other. We're gonna see if he talks a lot. He talks a lot. So we're really gonna see. But no, he's a great guy. Obviously a great coach, and he's really family oriented, which is pretty big, really big. I feel like someone who's really family oriented is very loyal to the program and to the players they coach. And it's not always about football, and it's about your mental health, your physical health, and just how you are as a person, and just building you to be a better man.
And I said I was going to save the best for last. So someone who doesn't get talked about enough is Bookie Radley-Hiles.
That's my guy.
There you go. What is it about Coach Bookie that just makes him one of the better relationship builders? I mean, to me, this dude's a future coach somewhere.
I think every school should kind of have this type of guy. He's relatable. He's young.
Okay.
He's still in that moment of his life where he's developing as well. Just like the people who like high schoolers and college, I feel like he's really relatable. And he's also one of those guys who's approachable. I mean, sometimes people get intimidated by the coaches, and Bookie's kind of not like he's serious, but he's one of those guys where you could talk to, and he'll give you real life advice, and he brings the energy. I mean, if you go to the spring practice, I guarantee you he'll probably be one of the only ones with cleats on. And it's like he's still a player out there. So I think his energy is just different. And he definitely in the future will be one of the top guys, one of the top coaches for sure.
Yeah, whenever he comes out for practice, he's already juiced up. He's ready to go. He's got that energy that you're talking about. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow afternoon. So
yeah,
I'm going to make sure he sees us as well. All right, we've got to take care of some business here, and we'll be back for the next segment. Stand by. The Armada Team of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Nissan and the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada. Each week, our Locked On College basketball experts are picking one team that stands apart, from top-seeded stars to unexpected upsets. These guys are showcased the strength and sheer power needed to push their team forward. This week's Armada clear-cut Team of the Week is the Arkansas Razorbacks. Despite losing their first 5 games in the SEC this year, Coach Calipari's Pig Suey squad fought their way through the SEC tournament, and they eventually earned an at-large bid and then took it to a whole nother level. Not only did Arkansas make the NCAA tournament, but they knocked off back-to-back national championship and Hall of Fame coaches en route to the Sweet 16. And they did it so far without their leading scorer and rebounder, Adu Thero, in the NCAA tournament. When it comes to the Nissan Armada, the way they say, go forth, conquer, and that's exactly what the Arkansas Razorbacks have done so far. It's clear that our Team of the Week is out here ready to conquer the road ahead with confidence, just like you can with the all-new Nissan Armada or any of the Nissan outstanding vehicles. Take the Nissan Armada, Rogue, or Pathfinder, and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. All right, so Brandon, you committed back, we talked about this a little briefly, during your sophomore season. And then last year, your recruitment, I think, really blew up. I mean, out of nowhere, everyone's like, we want him, we want him, we want him. You got an offer from, I think, everybody in the country, anybody who matters. Georgia, pretty much, like I said, everybody. What happened with USC's defensive improvement last year that kind of helped you? Basically, told everyone thanks, but no thanks.
The energy. Once again, in 2023, when I did go to the practice and the spring game, it was kind of just one of those things where it was flat, and it didn't really fire me up as a recruit.
Okay.
And coming into to last season, first spring practice, you could just tell off the bat the energy was just different. I mean, the guys, they were passionate. It really seemed like they wanted to be out there, and they were banging. They were banging like it was no joke. They were banging. Not even in just playing, but the weightlifting program, you seen the progress. It was just a whole bunch of guys who are committed to the program, who are just who want it all. So I think that's one of the big differences was the energy and the commitment of the players and the coaching staff.
Before I go to the next question, you were talking about the weightlifting. What are your thoughts on that new Bloom Performance Center that you guys are going to be getting when you check in?
I can't wait. Perfect timing, honestly. Perfect.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I remember back in the day, I don't know if you've ever been in the basement of Heritage Hall. That's where the football team used to work out back in the day. So
really,
it was called
the
Yeah, it was crazy. Now, here's a part of your quote from last year, and it was actually around this time, almost a year ago to the date. Quote, "I'm looking for intensity. That is what I want to see in practice." Now, and you just kind of alluded to that. I've seen you play. You've got some nasty in your game. You're not afraid to be physical.
For sure.
Kind of like what Coach Reed says, bite the opposition. Who do you try and emulate on the field? Who do you think your game most resembles, or who do you try and resemble your game after?
I feel like that question is kind of complicated to answer. I feel like if I'm gonna say myself, I mean, I'm gonna be my own guy. I do look at other players as an inspiration, but if I had to say I play like anyone, I'm gonna say I play like Brandon Lockhart. I think I have something different to my game than a lot of other people. And yeah, but I mean, if I had to say like if I had an inspirational player, I definitely choose like he's not a corner, but he's a DB, Cam Chancellor. I mean, comes downhill. Terry and Arnold, I think he's a great trash talker. That's where I definitely would take my trash talking from him. And then overall skill, I think that Marshawn Lattimore has great skill.
On that trash talking, I remember watching you play against Mount Miguel last year against Brandon Arrington.
Yep.
Better game.
It was a game for sure. We were talking trash a little bit, especially during halftime. Our locker room was right in front of them, and they were walking by, and me and Brandon, we started going at it for sure.
You guys had a lot of one-on-one matchups. Who do you think got the best of each other?
Definitely me.
That was correct. That was the only right answer.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not trying to like dog him out, but on me, 0 receptions. I think it was one pick on him. But I'm not. Yeah, he's a great player. He was doing his thing for sure.
Absolutely. Now back to the recruiting. This class has that California vibe. You got 15 committed, 9 are from the state, 8 are from Southern California. Back in my day, the best guys always stayed at home. They played for USC, and then they played for that other school across town. I know that USC can win a championship with just the best from the state.
Of course.
Give the fans your thoughts. I've read some of what you said about this in the past. Why is it so important for you to stay home and protect the neighborhood, so to speak?
Okay, so I'm gonna put it like this. You put me as a freshman, right? And me being from LA, then you take a freshman from Florida, right? I live 10 minutes from campus. He lives however long Florida is to campus. As a high schooler, as a senior, I have the availability to step on USC campus practically whenever I want. According to the rules, whenever I am allowed to, and doing that, I'm allowed to sit in meeting rooms, build a better relationship with the coaches. So it's just it's a big advantage that you get, And, you know, being from LA, I feel like if you take me and a kid from Florida, you know, someone's going to play for their hometown much harder than someone from another state. And, you know, I think that a SoCal kid playing for his hometown team, it's just there's so much dedicated to the process. And, you know, their parents are going to be at probably every game. So you're going to want to show up for your family. And, you know, then there goes that development. You get to tune in early before you even arrive there as a freshman. You get to tune in early and learn the playbook before anyone else does. So I think that's just a better advantage, not only freshmen going into USC, but freshmen from who are going to other schools. You know, you're just constantly developing yourself and getting that advantage ahead of them. And I think that's, you know, that's what the kids from SoCal really need to see is you can start learning now. And most kids in high school, they want to play as a freshman in college, if we're being realistic. And if you could get that advantage now, why not take it, you know? So I think that's one of the biggest things is, you know, being able to give yourself an advantage to get on the field earlier.
There's all that you just talked about. I'm just sitting here doing this the whole time, nodding up and down, because you're talking to my soul. And I won't admit this if anybody hears me say it, but it's actually better when USC versus UCLA, when that rivalry matters. And it kind of feels like it's taking a step to the side compared to other rivalries. And I think it's going to take more you and other guys in California just staying home to make that happen. Of course, USC is going to take all the best, and then play against your buddies over there in yellow and blue. But on that recruiting thing, because you have taken such a strong step with leading the class, were you surprised to see some of the guys who showed up at USC's junior day beginning of February?
A little bit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I saw guys like Vance Baffert. I know he's going to or not going, but committed to Georgia. So, you know, it was good to see him. You know, I think Tom was there, who was committed to Oregon, but obviously was there. So I think, you know, although they're committed to these places, the fact that they'll still show up to USC's junior day, and I bet you it didn't take them long to get there, really shows, you know, that they want to be there and that they're willing to, you know, give it a chance. Because, you know, both those guys too are very, you know, very high recruits and definitely high on USC's board.
Yeah, I was there watching you guys step out of the van, getting that.
Sorry to interrupt.
Henry. Please.
Henry, Caden Dixon. Well, he's committed now, but Jonah. Right. But yeah.
You had Talanoa Ely, the linebacker. I mean, all of a sudden, like it said, you're supposed to be right now. Exactly. And I know how bad USC wants all of you guys. I don't know. You have the privy information, but I know they want to make this the biggest high school recruiting class in the history of USC. So
definitely. And talking to Chad, the portal really should never be an option for us unless you know, it's one of those things where it's like you know, top needed. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like a kicker or something, you know, just something like that's really necessary at the moment. But the high school class, he says, is going to be one of the biggest high school classes that USC's ever had.
Cannot wait. Just getting back to that old recruit them, develop them, keep them, win a championship, go on to the NFL. That's the way it's supposed to be at USC.
Yeah, and the energy is going to be insane. I mean, we all know each other. It's like the junior day was so fun. Everyone knows each other. So it's one of those things where it's like team bonding is not really one of those things where it's like, okay, guys, we got to do team bonding. We grew up together. Like we know each other since we were in the sandbox. So it's like we already have such a good bond.
Are you challenging some of your friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Now, the last question in this segment. You don't have any other official visits lined up. When are you going to be on USC's campus next to watch spring practice?
Spring practice?
Well, spring camp opens today's. We're doing this Monday night.
I'll be there on Thursday.
There you go. All right. So
yeah, and then
I know USC is anticipating a lot of you guys showing up over these next 30 days or so.
Yeah, and then my official's the 20th of June to the 22nd.
Got it. All right. One more second to go. We're gonna throw 200 questions at Brandon in 5 minutes. I'm kidding. It's not going to be like that.
I can take them.
Okay. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse. Whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, SupplyHouse is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help on an order? SupplyHouse offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TN and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, if you use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order, that's supplyhouse.com. Brandon, you watching the NCAA tournament? No? It's all right.
Not too much.
That's all right.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the bracket breakdown. Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup. Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free. It's your team every day.
Just like Locked On USC is your team every day. It's all right, Brandon, trust me. If USC is not involved, I have a really hard time watching the tournament. So I feel you. All right, this is just kind of we're going to get to know Brandon when he's not playing football, what he's into, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of peel back the layers type of thing. By the way, I got to ask you, did you and your father ever get your stuff back that was jacked from you? That same week, I had someone take the catalytic converter off my car. So I
Really?
feel, yeah.
No. They took at Rivals my stuff got stolen, and then a week later I went to I had a track meet and my bag got stolen again. So
Get out.
Yeah, with my spikes. So it was crazy.
All right.
It's been rough.
I didn't mean to bring that up. I thought it only happened to you once. Man, that's sucks. Man.
Everything's replaceable. It's all good.
Yes, it is. And in case people aren't aware, your dad's a police officer, correct?
Yeah.
See, that ain't right. That ain't right. All right. Now I got some really tough questions for you. Again, I just want to get Trojan fans to kind of get to know who Brandon is when he's not wearing, putting on the helmet.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your favorite hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
I'm a big artist. So, back when I was a little kid and, I didn't have too much on my plate. I do custom shoes. I do custom cleats. I like to do a lot of murals with paint and stuff. So I've always been an artistic person. So I'm really into art. I'm really into animals. I've always been an advocate for animals. When I'm older, I definitely want to open up an animal shelter.
Wow.
And when I talked to USC about my official day, I did say I wanted puppies all around me. So I hope they're sticking to their word with that.
What's your favorite type of dog or breed?
Probably I like Newfoundlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I like those.
I grew up with Basset Hounds. Those dogs with big floppy ears. They trip over themselves when they're puppies.
Yeah, I have a little fat pug. So.
Oh, cute. That's awesome, man. Okay. Yeah. What are your favorite classes?
Math. Love
really?
Math. I want to do finance. I want to major in finance. Coming from Loyola, it's a very academic school.
Yes,
so
it is.
We do not play about our math. So I love working with numbers as long as I get it. Once I don't want it, it gets difficult. But when you get it, I find it fun. So yeah, definitely math.
What's the highest math course you've taken so far? I mean, that calculus, or where are you at right now?
Yeah, calculus.
Okay. Dude, not only is he a good football player, he's hella smart. Dream car. What is your dream car?
It used to always be a Bentley,
Okay.
only because it had a B in the front. But now I say I like Ferraris. I like
Not
chill,
bad.
not the sports car Ferraris, but the laid back like chill ones that you could like drive on like a nice little Sunday type of Ferrari.
I got you. I feel that. Okay. All right, Brandon, what's your last meal? If you could have whatever you want piled up high, and Benny Wiley is saying we're putting on calories, what is it? What are you throwing down that throat?
Nachos.
Wow.
I love nachos.
Okay.
Me and my grandma almost every Friday we'd go to Islands and I'd always get nachos. So I'm gonna say nachos.
Yeah, unlimited fries. I like Islands. Good stuff there.
Yeah.
All right. On your hot dog, mustard or ketchup?
Nothing.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
I did not have that on my bingo card. Good to hear.
I'm not a big sauce type of guy.
Okay.
I like a lot of stuff plain. Like even my burgers, meat, cheese, bacon.
You and me right there, bro.
Yeah. Not too much.
If you could have your own walkout music, what's jamming behind you when you're coming down the Coliseum tunnel?
Oh snap. If that is the vibe. Like for a game?
However you want it. Pretend it's senior night. Pretend it's senior day. Brandon Lockhart's walking out, and everybody gets their own walkout music.
So me and my grandma, when she used to take me to school a lot, you listen to the Temptations.
Love it.
And I have my record player over there with my Temptations. So I'd say the Temptations, and people might not like it because it's not hype, but that's what I listen to pregame. So
the Temptations are the ish. Trust
Yeah.
me. You're talking to me right now.
yeah,
Love
so the
that
Temptations for sure.
Little David Ruffin, absolutely. All right. I like where this is going. You talk about grandma a lot. Mama's boy or dad's dude? Which one are you?
Dad. My dad takes me everywhere, does everything for me for the most part. I don't think he's missed a single game ever. I mean, and think about it. I have an older brother who went to San Jose, and he's entering the draft. But my dad would go from my games on Fridays, fly to right after my games, fly straight to San Jose to watch my brother, and then fly back. So, and then take me to practice the next day. So he's committed to me and my brother.
Oh, I can't wait to meet your dad.
Oh, he could. Oh my gosh, he could talk your ear off for hours about football.
Looking forward to it.
About anything, I think.
I'm looking forward to that.
He's deep into football. I think because he wants to retire soon, and he does a lot of like the recruiting for my high school, trying to get players in. So he wants to get into like the recruiting analyst type of stuff. Because I mean, he's more passionate about that than anything.
I know a guy. I'll have him get in touch with Scott Schrader. I know you know him too. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, he talks to Scott probably maybe more than me. I think he talks to more recruiters than me.
That's awesome. Yeah, Scott and I work together over there at wearesc.com. So that's great to hear. Cool deal. All right, last question. This is a tough one. Pick six or cornerback blitz that plants the quarterback.
What quarter is it?
Sean Alston asked me the exact same question.
I need to know what quarter it. If it's fourth quarter, I'm saying pick six.
Okay.
But if it's like first or second, I'm gonna say blitz for sure.
All right. Well, both answers work for me. So, Sean, Brandon, first of all, I want to say thank you again for doing this.
Of course.
I know you're locked in, and I don't want you to steal anybody's thunder, but tell the Trojan family why this 2026 class is going to end up being the best ever, and why it'll probably end up being the top ranked class in the country when everything's all said and done.
Because us SoCal guys are committed to making our hometown one of the best places ever. And we are such a close group of people to the point where we are going to push each other to be the best we can. whether it's on the field or off the field. I know I'm gonna keep my guys accountable. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I'm gonna hold the coaches accountable. I'm gonna hold everybody accountable so we could be one of the best teams that have ever touched the Coliseum.
Bro, I'm ready to run through that wall right now. All right. That's Brandon Lockhart. That is your future lockdown cornerback in the class of 2026. He'll be on USC's campus Thursday for spring practice. I'll be out there tomorrow. I'll be out there Thursday as well. If we bump into each other, great. Looking forward to it. I'll have another episode of Locked On USC tomorrow. We're going to have all the notes, quotes, and highlights from spring practice. So until then, everyone, you know what to do.